2018, claiming that state governors can only pay 22,500 as new national minimum wage. First, we wish to state that the Nigerian Governors Forum is not a negotiating body, but merely a political organization for the protection of interests of governors and for the convenience of those governors. The tripartite committee from inception had sent initially a letter to each state governor requesting for memorandum on their position and contribution to the issue of consideration of a new minimum wage. We have said over and over again that 21 states responded through a formal memorandum to the committee. They also quoted figures individually, because what the law recognizes is individual states and as entities that can negotiate in a process of collective bargaining. And therefore, that opportunity was not available for them to utilize. Secondly, you could recall, there was a public hearing in the 6 geopolitical zones, including Lagos and Abuja, where every state was given an opportunity to come and present its position, including presenting a formal memo. It was after this process, which took about 1 year, very rigorous, that mutually a figure was accepted. Let me also put the record straight. The demand, official demand of organized labor is 66,500, which we have reiterated and which from all indices now we are going to revert back to it. The issue of 30,000 was a compromise position that was agreed at the tripartite negotiating table. It wasn't the demand of labor. It wasn't a figure imposed by labor. It was mutually agreed at the conclusion of the meeting of the tripartite negotiating committee on the 5th of October this year, 5% of the population. This is really unfortunate, and therefore we stand by our earlier position to say that on what is agreed we stand, and outside that our formal demand is actually 66,500. We are also aware that intense pressure had been put on some members of organized private sector. And I made reference to particularly Nasima, where they were made to issue statement under duress. I've spoken to that lady today, Hajia Mohiba, and she has disputed what has been published by many newspapers as her position. And I'm aware also that NECA, the umbrella body of organized private sector, will issue an official statement. Nobody can go out of a collective bargaining process and begin to advance falsehood or bend the truth. We stand by that, and I think all of us must also be careful the way we report information. And I'm sure I've also told her to actually do a disclaimer to whatever report that is actually there on the papers. She said somebody highly in government called her to try to write a statement, because at the conclusion of the meeting, she was not actually there on the 5th of October. And therefore, she cannot actually make any statement to that effect. But I'm sure NECA, that represents the interests of organized private sector, will make a formal statement to actually to confirm whether there was a conclusion of the meeting and whether there's an agreement, which I think will put all of this false information into context. And therefore, I want to reiterate, just as the NEC of NLC have actually pronounced that without making sure that the issue of the minimum wage of 30,000, which was mutually agreed through a well-known process of collective bargaining, accepted and also put into law, certainly the action that has been proposed for the 6th of October, November, a national industrial action will actually take necessary steps to give effect to that.